What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment, and be sure, everybody, to please subscribe to the channel Unique Access Entertainment. All you got to do is hit that button right there. It's free. Make sure to like our videos and, of course, share them with your friends, family, cohorts, and such, so we can get this channel growing and keep bringing you guys these wonderful interviews. And today we have a great one, man. We're going to be joined by the B.U.M.S D.Ys. Thank you for coming through.
Hey, man, I appreciate you hitting me up, man, and blessing me with the interview, man. This is very and highly favored, man. I'm very humble.
Yeah, man. Well, it's, obviously, as you know, been listening to you since the beginning of, at least on vinyl. I know not.
Yeah, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96.
Yep, that era. And then I know you got the new single Survival, which we'll be getting to later, but on Unique Access, we show a lot of love to all kinds of rap, and especially the West Coast, of course. But people hit me from time to time like, yo, what's up with the bums? How come you never write about the bums? How come you don't cover the bums? I was like, y'all would have called my articles in 94, 95, 96. I did.
Yeah.
But now we're here in 2020 doing the interview. So that's a beautiful thing.
Hey, man, it doesn't matter how long it takes, man. As long as we get it and get it done, man, it's a blessing. So, yeah, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to still be here. You know what I mean? Still making music. You did say the Survival single. Yeah, I've been making some money. I mean, not money, making some music. But I hope to be making some money. But yeah, I've been making some music, man, since then. I never stopped. I just been low-key under the radar, watching everything going on. And then I finally just decided, I said, let me go and test this water right now. So I'm out here doing my thing right now.
Yeah, well, the Survival single, one of the many things that we'll just talk about it now. One of the things that I really did like about it, or that I do like about it, is it's the people that really only know the B.U.M.S material. This is a little harder. It's a little more forceful from you, especially like delivery style, the sonics.
Yeah.
So
well, go ahead.
No, so I said, for people that haven't heard you in a long time, if this is their reintroduction, what's kind of the sonic and stylistic change in particular?
Well, I had to doing a solo project because I've been so used to doing the group, the B.U.M.S. So I only had to write a verse or a verse and a half or a hook. So now I have to come up with the concepts, write the songs. Basically, I had to do everything. So now I had to learn how to become a songwriter. So usually it's, two MCs and, the concept comes together pretty quick. But when you by yourself, I had to go back and reinvent myself. You know what I'm saying? Because the B.U.M.S are still the B.U.M.S, but, we're just doing our own thing. But we still are the group. But being that you go solo, you have to reinvent yourself to get the masses and say, oh, that's that guy. So what I did was I just grew, verbally grew. I'm still straight at you. You're not going to hear too many high-class metaphors. I'm basically still sticking it straight to you, not going to sugarcoat it. Like I said on Elevation, I'm not sugarcoating shit. So that's it. So all I did was just bring that 95, 94, 96 flavor just into 2020, just higher production, just higher writing, you know what I'm saying? A little more vocal. I'm way more vocal than I used to be. So that's about it. So, but everything is still high quality B.U.M material.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little more, like I said, forceful. I would say on Life and Time, you were a little more, I guess.
I was laid back.
Laid back, more in the pocket.
Yeah, a little more reserved. Yeah, so, a little more reserved.
As a person, how would you say you've changed or evolved personally that maybe has led to this musical evolution?
Well, first off, I'm 50 years old. And, I went through the transition of becoming a father, grandfather. And so my thinking has to change. You know what I'm saying? I can't be that, wildcat, out there doing what we was doing when we were the B.U.M.S. So I have to be more cognizant of what I got going on and be aware of a lot more things. And the times has changed. We went from a physical era doing music to a digital era. You know what I'm saying? So I had to adjust to the sign of the times, learn the Snapchats and the Instagram and doing all of the promotion online when we used to do it on the street. You know what I mean? We used to get out there and touch the people, hand to hand. There's no more of that. So we got to give them the sign of times. And all I did was just basically, I just acclimated myself right on in and learned the game and got my own label. I put my own music out, so I don't have to wait for an A&R or your director or anything to tell you what you can and can't do with your music. You know, that's the difference and better thing about it, is that you can do it yourself and not have to worry about, you know, you can do your own PR. You don't have to worry about anybody taking money out of your pockets. You can just do it yourself. You're the budget. So that's a little bit better. It's a little harder, and you know, you have to grind a little harder, but man, if you love it, you're gonna keep doing it.
And that's
so I kept doing it.
That's the 55th Hill Records?
55th Hill Records, which is my label. It was established, I talked about 55th Hill back in the day on the B.U.M.S albums. And basically, when 1990 came, it was embedded in my head that I'm gonna eventually start this label. And so in 1990, when I established it in my head, like 55th has always been in my head as it could be a record label. And then it took, you know, 2020 or 2018 or 2017, it came to fruition. And I finally went on and did the LLC and got my own record label. And I got my own distribution, so I do my own thing now. There's nobody behind me but me, pushing me. So it's up to me to push my music and get it out there. If something comes along and somebody wants to join up and say, yo, we need you further out here, so be it. But it's always going to be 55th Hill is going to be in there.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's that. But independent, I love the independency. I wish I would have knew about it back. I wish I would have knew what I know then, what I know now back then. I probably would have been a force to be reckoned with out here, but it's never too late. It's never too late.
Well, what would you say the pros and the cons of the differences between the physical world and the digital world?
The pros and the cons is that with the digital world is that you're not touching anybody. You're not talking to anybody. It's all clicks. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to get approvals through emails that it went through. But back in the day, you used to walk in, shake hands, you talking to people, you get in these relationships. But now you have to do it through, you know, some things that you deal with is just a machine. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between then and now. Back then, we were dealing with the physical. Now we're dealing with a machine. And for you to be a part of this movement, you have to acclimate yourself into the machine. And so basically, all I did was learn all of it. And so I could still deal with people, because I still make CDs. I still make, you know, promotional stuff to give out. Like I got stealth T-shirts, which I'm gonna be getting your address after this, so I can send you one. It's totally different to be hands-on and to learn this stuff, and you feel better when you do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're actually doing the work and not somebody else doing it for you. So it feels better that way for me.
And then, as far as what you know now versus back then, what are some of the key things that you know now that you wish you could have applied to what you guys were doing with the B.U.M.S?
Shit, my contract. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have knew what I know now, you know, about lawyers and everything that goes into a contract, that here, therefore, what therefore, after, what all that means. And it took 20-some years for me to understand it and break the code of it. And so once I learned that, now I'm writing contracts, you know what I'm saying, for people that I bring on my records. Like I brought Sadat X on the record that I did with All Purpose and Phantasm from the Cellar Dwellers called Real Ones. I had to get business savvy and write up a contract. You know what I'm saying? So now I went from not understanding what it is to learning what it means, and then to now writing it out, you know, personally myself. Well, I have people write it out for me, but to do that is totally, it's real. It feels good to know that, okay, I know this now, and nobody can take advantage of me like they did back then. They didn't take advantage of me. I just didn't know everything about the music business, and I was a young kid with a record contract. So you're looking over the business side because you want to be that artist. You want to be out there. You want to be flashy, and, you know, do all of the stuff. But if you don't know that business, you know, you wind up 25 years later fighting like I did to get back out. But it was worth it. It was worth it because I'm way savvy, and I won't be taken advantage of again. So yeah, that's the difference between now and then.
Yeah, and the fact you're doing projects with Sadat X and putting your stuff out on your own is a testament to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, you know, because back then, you know, you weren't able to reach out to these guys, you know, via internet or, you know, to find them and holler at them. Because back then it was different. You had to go through their label and then get clearance, and they charge you a shit amount of money to just to do a verse on somebody's record. Now you can holler at them and be like, yeah, man, you shoot me this and give me this on the back end. Let's do it. So then you give them, you find out what you need to give them from contractual agreements. Then you got to get it to their management. They got to get it cleared, and they send it back to you. And then you're on your way. And you sit back and you pick up this contract and go like, whoa, that's that man's name at the bottom of that contract. And I used to watch this guy on TV. You know what I'm saying? Idolizing him. Now I'm working with him, doing business with him. That's the best part about it.
Right. So let's take it back, way back then, and kind of get to some of the earlier stuff, and then bring it full circle toward the end. Because a lot of people, I guess, would kind of say they knew of you, I guess, the Wake Up Show type of stuff early on.
Yeah.
So how did you guys really connect with Sway and Tech?
Well, I grew up with Sway. Me and him I've been knowing Sway since I was in the 7th grade. We went to junior high school. We went to the same high school. My sister, his brother, his sister, and then Sway, they all were buddy. So me being the brother of somebody that hangs around with my sister, which is Sway hangs around with my sister, I just basically became like his Memphis Bleek, like Jay's Memphis Bleek. So wherever he went, I was just like, you know, but I started off with CMT from E.A.C. That's who I started off with. So, and then once he got with E.A.C, I was in limbo, you know, doing my own thing. And then I end up, Sway's like, yo, you should come hang out with me at the Wake Up Show, man. I got this little radio show. You should come out. So I come hang out with him every Friday. But I was an intern. I was just basically carrying records and crates and, you know, opening the door for people, knowing that I wanted to get on that mic. So he was like, you got to pay your dues. And understanding paying your dues was you had to pay your dues before you could step into the arena. So I paid my dues. And then that, you know, I was writing these rhymes over and over and over until I wrote that one rhyme that said, he was like, yo, you're going to do that tonight on the Wake Up Show. And so after I did that one verse, bang. Then Evolve, me and him, we wasn't a group. Evolve was a dancer for Sway. And he also rhymed. Me, I was Sway's barber. So all his videos, his record covers, that's my work. And so me and him was buddy for real. And Evolve was a dancer for him. And so Evolve rhymed, I used to rhyme, and we used to go back and forth on Wake Up Show. Then bang, A&R from Priority called him, like, yo, them 2 dudes that was just rhyming, are they a group? And he was like, no. Then Sway came out, I was like, yo, that was an A&R from Priority. He asked me if you guys were a group. So what should I tell him? And I was like, he was like, I'll let you think about that right quick. So I turned around like, yo, he's telling us that A&R is looking at us from a record label. What do you want to do? We come up with a group. So we came up with a group. King Tech used to call us the B.U.M.S. Like, oh, here come those bums. And so that's where you came up with the B.U.M.S from, right there. So when we walked back over to the A&R, he's like, who are you guys? And he was like, we're the B.U.M.S. And he was like, Dane, kind of like stuck to him. He said, what does it mean? Us, the Brothers Under Madness. And he was like, oh, yeah, I like that. And so a couple weeks later, I had a contract in the mail. So All City Priority signed us. All City Priority dropped us.
Gotcha. And how did you guys come up with Brothers Under Madness on the spot?
On the spot.
Wow.
I'm talking about it in a 5 to 10 minute conversation. We had to come up with the name and the acronym, you know, what it means, the whole shebang within a 5 to 10 minute basis. And it happened, and it took off from there. And that's what it turned out to be. And next thing you know, a year later, we put Life and Time together. And a year after that, the record came out. Then after that was
right.
And all, you know, all good things come to an end. You know what I'm saying? But it left us with a platform. You know what I'm saying? That everybody's like, yo, you guys got a classic album. You know what I'm saying? For 2 dudes from the Bay Area, you know, you guys they considered us to be one-hit wonders. And I used to just tell them, I said, nah, I just call it a circumstantial situation, man. We had an opportunity, let it slide through our fingers. I don't call it a one-hit wonder. We made a classic album, but we just didn't, the business side of it wasn't just definitely tight. And it broke everything, fucked everything up. Didn't break everything up, just fucked everything up. And it put us back at square root. But my thing was, I'm not going back to square root. I'm not going back to that same old. So for then, I ended up getting married, had my kids. And so I stayed at home, did the family thing. And once my youngest daughter got of age, I said, okay, it's time. I got to go. Because I did everything I'm supposed to do as, as a parent and a father and a husband. So now I need my time. So I'm here for my life, for my time, Soren. So it's my time.
There you go.
That's where I'm at right now.
Well, you're making it happen. Congratulations.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to make it happen. It's going to happen. It's not making, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Now, I do want to, let's definitely talk a lot about Life and Time, because it is a great album, in my opinion.
Yep.
And even with the Street Fighter soundtrack, it's a street fight, because that song is great. But
Double platinum.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge album. So with that, and that being, I guess, you guys' biggest non-Life and Time thing that you were on, yeah. What did that mean in the sense of understanding how the machine and the business works, being on such a huge project with huge artists?
And didn't see nothing out of it. It tells you right there that you got to have your business tight. It let me know right then and there, like, yo, I found out recently that it sold, the Street Fighter sold 2 times platinum. So that lets me know that I'm a multi-platinum artist. And CMT of E.A.Ski, he formerly of E.A.Ski, he told me is that he had a bunch of plaques in his room. And I was like, yo, what are those? He said, those are all plaques. I said, yo, what is that one right there? And I was FaceTiming just like this. He's like, that's Street Fighter. I said, platinum? He said, 2 times. He's like, D, you didn't know? I was like, nah, man, I didn't know. And he was like, yeah, you got a plaque, man. You got a 2 times plaque. I'm like, because if you're on that soundtrack, right? I was like, yeah. He said, you're an artist. You're a platinum artist. I was like, oh, shit. And so right then and there made me understand, like, the opportunities that was there in my face back then. I wish I would have been more cognizant of the shit that was going on inside, instead of just sitting out, floating like a turd in the toilet, waiting for it to go down, which it did. So I wish I would have been more sharp on that, but I was happy to find out that I did that, because that's an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Who can say in their life, most people are like, yo, I'm on a multi-platinum soundtrack, or I did a multi-platinum album. A lot of people can't say that in the music game. They can say I've sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records, and I've done a lot of stuff in the game, but who can actually say they got plaques? And I'm humbled to hear that from word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the soundtrack and I'm on the soundtrack. That lets me know. So that humbled me real big, and I can honestly say that that soundtrack like opened my mind to let me know that I said, D, you are a platinum recording artist, and you can still do this. And so I just stepped up to the bat, found me a few new producers, and I jumped on board, man. I'm about to whip some ass out here for an old man.
Now with CMT, it's interesting with him and E.A.Ski because they've done so much work.
They got so many bodies, man. They got so many bodies of work, man. Platinum, gold, so much. It's unparalleled to see that the dude I grew up with since I was 8, and I was there when he learned CMT how to play his first keyboard, did my first recording in his basement, and to see him have all of those accolades and come from the same block. You know what I'm saying? So it lets me know, like, yo, yeah, I'm in the right place.
Yeah. And for you, like his versatility in E.A.Ski's as well, to be working with you, but then also to be doing stuff with Master P and TRU, and, Spice One.
Spice One,
yeah.
Loonies, you know what I'm saying? All over the place.
So what do you think that says about his versatility to be able to walk in all those different arenas sonically?
Out of the box. He's out of the box. CMT is out of the box. You know what I'm saying? For him to be from the West Coast and to deal with those different many cultures in music, it's unparalleled. So you really have to be musical to be able to have those artists come to you and say that your production can fit what I do. I feel that strong that the CMT, that you can make a record for me that can give me one of those plaques that you have on your wall. So yeah. So when we got back together from our growing up breakup, and then to get back together and then do one record, Stealth, and they're like, yo, dude, just imagine if you guys would have been doing records back then, what it'd be right now. I said, well, it was written what was going to happen with my career and his career. It was written. It was not going to be what we thought it was going to be. You know, he upstairs determined everything we do. Got a start date and a finish date. So he let me start with him, but he didn't let me finish with him. But he did give me a restart. So that's good. So we restarted it, and we good. Me and CMT are good.
Yeah.
Me and Evola good. Me and all my Joe Quicks is good. You know what I'm saying? Motion Man is good. Everybody's good. Everybody's living. Sway's out doing his thing. He's on a level that, you know, he's on a presidential level. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing his thing. So everybody's coming out good. So now it's time for the cast that kind of was in the back creeping. It's time for us to step up in the forefront. So Evo has something going on. I got something going on. A lot of Bay Area heads are opening up the Bay Area again. Even though the COVID has shut everything down, digitally, you can still move. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing live performance, we do video live performances. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to do what you got to do. So that's what I'm going to do.
Gotcha. And then with the Life and Time, there's a lot about that album I want to go through real quick. But one of the things that I really liked about it was all the sampling and the scratching. So one of my favorites was Non-Stoppin' the Groove with Big Daddy, having Big Daddy Kane sample on there. So for you guys in that era, what was it still in that mid-90s about having a Big Daddy Kane sample that really meant a lot to you?
Man, it was just about as big as using Eric B. and Rakim. Still saying rhyme after the next one. To use those records, to get them cleared, you know what I'm saying? That was, you know, come on, man. You know, you're a kid from East Oakland, your Manny Bowles from North Oakland. And, you know, we were so influenced with hip hop that these are records that we listened to growing up. And then to make a record and then to hear your DJ Joe Quicks go like, hey, I got something that'll fit that. I got something for that. And then you go back to the studio and you hear the finish and you go like, oh. And then you go like, oh, yo, we got to get that cleared though, right? And he's like, nah, man, it's a scratch. I said, nah, but you're using it as a hook. I'm like, so we had, you know, go through Cold Chillin'. And I guess it was a Warner Brother Reprise or something like that back then, Warner Brothers. So, you know, everything flew straight through. Every sample that we did, All City Priority basically covered their X's, you know, dotted their I's and crossed their T's on everything. So we never really had any issues with sample clearance or anything coming back to bite us in the ass after they heard the material, you know, because back then you had to send it in, let them hear it, and you get approval that way. Or they would send it to some of the artists of the record it belonged to and let them hear it that way. They cleared it, you know. Gamble and Huff, Elevation. You know what I'm saying? The record is just a straight replica of the record, but it just has lyrics on it and me singing. But they cleared that shit like that because they heard the record and they understood the record. And it's like, oh, yeah, let it fly. Then for them to say like, yo, that's your first single. And when we sent it to Priority, that was the only record we sent it in. We didn't send them no other records. We sent one record to Priority, which was Elevation. So when they was like, he said, oh, we're going to send them 4 or 5 cuts. He was like, nah, send them one.
Why'd you just want to send them the one?
Because that sums it up. That sums it up. We talking about the record industry right there on that record. Like, this is where we getting at you. Now, do you got the strength and the balls to say, okay, I get it. I get the record. I understand what you're saying. Because a lot of artists in the game, like they said, they one-hit wonders, and then we made a record that turned out to be one of our biggest records, and then they thought it was going to be a one-hit wonder, and we came right back around and take a look around. So we let them know, like, nah, this ain't going to be a one-hit for us. We got another one for you. But when we gave them the record, you know, we had 10 records at that time. From, you know, we only had a few months to start recording before they started going like, yo, we need to hear some music. We need some music. So we sent them Elevation, and that was it. After that, though, our budget rose up because we were using so many samples. And so Priority was like, yo, we got to dish them out more money because this album's starting to sound better. And so now they're going to have to dish out more money during the budget. And if I was to tell you what that album cost to make, you'll probably say, oh, yeah. So when I tell people that, yeah, we spent this much on that album, we spent this much on that video, you'll laugh right now because the times have changed. But yeah, Likely Time, man. I don't call that album a one-hit wonder. I call it a platform for whatever else we wanted to do in life and music.
Yeah.
Anybody ask, like, oh, man, aren't you? Yeah, I'm D.O.C from the Bums. She said, man, I got your record, man. I had it when I was like, I was always in trouble, man. Kept me out of trouble. And I heard that, and I go like, what? For real? Like, I was just a bunch of rapping and telling stories. And like, it really hit you that personally. And people would always hit it like, yo, man, your album, man. That shit got me through a lot of shit. I'm like, and to hear that is that's big. And it's still here to this day. It's big. So I love it. I'm humbled.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.